Hey everyone, welcome to my hobby room. This is Carrie with Carrie's Crochet and Craft. Today I am doing an update for the last market. For the next market that I did. This is actually in July now, and I need to catch up from all of the previous markets that I did. The last market that I showed you was my first one that I did over in that larger town. That was on June 16. And this next market then was June 23. So please keep that in mind. I have been really busy and I haven't gotten any update videos made. So I'm just gonna kind of work through and get those done for you. This week's market, the 23rd, was very exciting for me, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I just have to say I took the camera to take some video of setting up, or at least of the setup. Forgot the SIM card. Forgot the SD card. I left it at home in my computer from having taken off the files to work on one of the last videos that I did. So had my camera, did not have the SD card, so I could not take a video. But we will do without then. I'll show, I did, I don't have anything to show from that time, but we have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. So, the previous market, I had gone there and I had sold $328.50 worth of product, and I had determined it was a good one to go to, even though it was an hour away. It cost me about $20 in gas to get there, and a $25 market fee, booth fee. Still, I made enough to feel that it was worth it to keep going there, and so I have kept going there, with the exception, I think, of 1 week. So let's get into what I sold there. So excuse me. First off, first customer of the day, it was just a little after 9, and this couple comes up to me and they're looking at my stuff, and the guy asked, "Do you do custom orders?" And I'm like, "Sure." Why not? So he starts explaining to me that he has a niece being born in August, and he wanted a stuffed whale, and he wanted to go big, like super big, like big enough to lay the baby on as a, as a pillow, but big for it to lay on, for her to lay on. So I'm like, okay, well, I can probably come up with something. And so he says, like, I would even be willing to pay you up to $200. I'm like, no, because I gave him an estimate of what it would be. I'm like, well, it'd probably be, $40 in yarn. I'm thinking blanket yarn at this time. And then, probably another, 3 hours worth of my time, depending on how long it takes to make, which pattern I choose to make. And so I gave him an estimate of about 75, and then I showed him like what yarn it would be out of, and he says, well, that's fine, I'd go up to 100, but if you go all out and add lots of extras or whatever, I'll even go up to 200. I'm like, okay. So anyway, he put a down payment of $50, and then his girlfriend bought a little Pocket Octo, very similar to this one. This is my Pocket Octo pattern, and when I make it in the Just Chenille yarns, which is my favorite thing to do here. Only this one has the different tentacles. You can see the two varieties of tentacles here. So when I make it out of the Just Chenille yarn, I charge $3, and it's a lot smaller. When it's the same pattern, but when it's out of the bigger yarn, I do $5 for it. It's really fun for the kids. Like, kids will have like a little bit of money to spend, and so they can buy these things for really inexpensive. These take 10 to 15 minutes to make, and so $3 might be a little bit of a loss, but if you make 10 in an hour, if you spend 10 minutes to make one, that's 6 in an hour. At $3 a piece, that's still $18 an hour, so not bad. Sometimes it takes me up to 15 minutes to make, but it's still not that much a loss. Where I live, minimum wage is about $15, so that's a pretty good price in my area for making these. So anyway, so she bought one of these and they put $50 down on the custom order. And that's what I'll talk to you more about after I tell you the different things that I sold. So then I sold a bee for $12, a chicken and a chunky mushroom for $20, another chicken for $8, a flower for $12, some hair ties. I made some elastic hair ties, decorative. It has a mermaid theme on the elastic. I sell a set of 4 of them for $3. Another chicken for $8. Excuse me. And she added 50 cents. She paid by Venmo, which I'm not sure why she added the 50 cents. I guess she thought I might get fees for it or something, but I didn't. So $8.50. Excuse me. Then I sold another octo and then a small leggy froggy for $16. I sold lots of pocket octos. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pocket octos and then a pocket jelly fish. I love having those little, and some of those, I was just sitting there working on the pocket octos as I was sitting there waiting for customers. And so I'd make one, set it out, and it would sell. And I'd make another one, set it out, and it would sell. And in fact, I had one gal and her boyfriend come along, and they picked out, I may have only had one pocket octo left, and or maybe there was more, but anyway, she wanted to know if I could make it in other colors, and I said yeah. And so I was showing her all the different colors that I had with me, and she wanted a yellow one. So I sat there and made a yellow one while they wandered the farmer's market for 10-15 minutes. It was probably about more 20 minutes by the time they get back, but so yeah, I just sat there and made a yellow pocket octo for her, and she was just thrilled to have it in the custom color, and she actually came back to one of the next markets, and she told her the bottom had unraveled a little bit, so it had come loose. So she wanted me to fix that. So that was an easy fix, just tightening up the closing seam again. But her boyfriend is in Alaska on I think he's working on a fishing boat up there. And so she told me that he had a pocket octo and she had one, and they would just take pictures of the pocket octos wherever they were and send them to each other. So kind of a fun, you know, still bonding while they're separated for a couple months. I thought that was just so neat that they were using those pocket octos in that way. So then I sold another leggy froggy for $8, two medium frogs for $10 each, and then a mushroom, and is that another pocket octo? Must be, for $17, and then another chunky mushroom for $12. So my total sales were $217.50, and then you take away, so $217.5 minus 25 for the booth fee, that's $192, and you take away the gas, so that's $172.5. Again, still worth it for me to go over there, even though I had done just about 100, yeah, a little more than 100 less than I did the first week. Still worth it to go over there. So that is my update for the June 23 market. And that next week I started focusing on what to use for the custom whale that this fellow had ordered. So I started looking around. I went to Joann's, I went to Hobby Lobby, I went to Walmart, just to kind of see what the chunkier yarns were like, because I was trying to figure out what yarns to use to make it super big. I thought about using like a Premier XL or one of their chunkier yarns, but doubling up. So I was looking online to see what those were like. It's hard to tell, of course, the thickness of some of the yarns when they're online, and if I haven't worked with them before, I'm not sure how it's gonna, you know, how thick it's gonna be. So then I decided to once again go to Hobby Lobby. This is my second trip, and I was looking for a specific color scheme because the guy said that their nursery was going to be kind of a marine theme with kind of a light blue and tan or beige with like ivory or white. And so I was looking for yarn that fit within that color scheme. So I finally went to Hobby Lobby and I found the yarn that I wanted to use. And I ended up getting the Yarn Bee Eternal Bliss, and the ivory was going to be one of the accent colors. I should probably tell you what pattern I chose first. I don't know where my pattern is, but I have the whale, another whale here that I can show you. So anyway, I chose this color, which is Spa Blue, and this is all the yarn that I have left from that. But this is Spa Blue in the Eternal Bliss. And then accent colors in taupe. And then this ivory. So you might be able to tell from this yarn, the whale turned out pretty big, and it did. I ended up making the fins of it and sending a picture to him just to kind of get approval, and the fins themselves were 15 inches long. So anyway, I was looking around for patterns that I thought would make kind of cool, you know, a nice big pillow that would allow like the baby to be laid on it or whatever. And I came across this pattern. It's this one right here. So it's kind of a sleek, modern look to it. Yeah. So this one I think right here is about as long as one of the fins for the big whale. And I do have some pictures. I did take pictures, so I'll make sure to add them to the video so you can see the fins. And then I took a picture of the whale. Then I also used the yarn with the twist, Cozy with the Twist yarn, this yarn right here. And in fact, I think in this color, and I made a smaller version of that yarn as a toy that the baby could squeeze and hold as it's growing up, because the other one was monstrous. So I wish I had gotten some video of it to share with you guys, but it just didn't happen. But anyway, so this I actually started making up as a mock-up to see how big it would be. This is using the yarn that I got from Temu. So I used a size L hook to make this. So it's thicker than your typical blanket yarn. So I used this to kind of to gauge how big that size of yarn, how big of a whale that size of yarn would make. And this is how big that size of yarn made. And so this yarn, you know, ever so much bigger than that yarn. So they weren't going to be at the next market. They were going to be at the market 2 weeks from them, which I wasn't sure if I was going to make it to that market, but I ended up being able to go after all. So anyway, I spent the next 2 weeks working on that whale and then the little whale that I also added to it. I'm sorry, it's just so cute. And so, I mean, the back of the whale was literally big enough you could lay a baby on it. So anyway, that was my custom order. This was my trial one. And so now I have this one at my booth to sell. And that was just really exciting to get a custom order at my second market that I went to. I think that's about it for the market update. Again, this was for June 23. And I think what I'll do, the next few markets were not as exciting as, you know, this one with the custom order. But I'll just kind of go through real quick and maybe just do a quick catch-up of the rest of the markets between then and now. I do have another market coming up this Friday, and I'll make another video to show you all the stuff that I'm replenishing my stock with in another video. So, excuse me, that was June 23. On June 30, I sold a Leggy Froggy for 12, a crochet topped towel for 10, an opossum for 8, a pocket octo and a pocket jelly for 6, medium frog for 10, a regular sized octo, which is this size, for 8, a pocket octo for 3, a chicken for 8, 2 of the crochet topped towels for $20, Triceratops for 8, a bee for 15, pocket octo for 3, 2 more Triceratops for $8 each, a chicken for $8. Then I had made a butterfly, which I didn't get a, excuse me, sorry, I didn't get a picture of the butterfly that I made, but I sold the bee and a butterfly to the vendor that was next to me, because she was buying them for, I think, her niece and nephew or something like that, for $33. So the bee was 15 and the butterfly was 18. I sold another octo for 8, a towel topper, which is, it's like a crochet topped towel, only it's just a hanging topper part with the loop underneath that you can hang a towel on, so you can use the towels that you already have. So I sold one of those and one of my zippered bags with the designs on front for $10, then one of my flowers for 12, and then I sold 2 little whales, such cute little whales. Let's see if I can find one real quick, because I have some that didn't sell recently. I don't know, they're too hard to find right now. They're too buried, so we're not going to show you right now. So 2 whales and then 2 small octos for $26 for that. And the sales for that market were $224, so just a little bit more than the market before. Again, still worth it to go. With gas taken out, it was $9.99, or sorry, with the fee taken out, it would be $1.99, and then the gas, it would be $1.79. All right, for July 7, this is a lot of markets to catch you up on. July 7, 14, 21, and then the 28th, there was no market because there was an art in the park event going on, and a lot of vendors were going to be going to that, so they didn't hold the market. So July 7, I sold a pocket squid, pocket octo, $3 each. The guy came for his whale. He was thrilled with it, loved how huge it was, made a big to-do of carrying it out of the market. Everybody was commenting on it. So he was just thrilled with that whale, and then the little whale. And I ended up saying that it was, with the 2 whales, it was worth $150, and so he then paid me the other $100 that he owed me because he put $50 down. I sold 3 fried eggs for $30, a pig for $8. I sold one of my Granny Hexagon purses. It's the red one. So I sold one of those, and then an axolotl, and that was $43. I sold 2 Leggy Froggies, $12 each, a bear, and an octo for $8 each, 2 octos, another egg for $10, oh, a big jellyfish. I had a jellyfish for $25, and then 2 scrubbies for $10. I sold 3 pocket octos for $9, and then I sold an octopus, a pig, a seahorse, a squid, and a blueberry for $64. There was a mom that came through with her 4 kids. They each got to pick something out, and so that was their order, $64. And then another axolotl for $18. Then I sold another pocket octo for $30. Oh, and this was the Granny Hexagon hobo bag for $30. The other bag that I sold was a little hobo style bag for that was made out of the sheepy yarn. So I sold one of those bags, one of those purses. So I sold 2 purses at that event. That was really nice. So that made my sales $387, mostly because of that $100 from the guy who bought the whale. But that was still pretty good. Even without that, it would have been $287. So still a good day. So that day was $387 minus the 45. It would be $342. Very good market. Very worth it to go. 2 more markets to go. We'll try to go through this real quick. I sold a little mushroom, a mini bee, and a whale for $23. I upped the price of the chickens to $10. So I sold 1, 2, 3 chickens for $10 each. I sold 2 leggy froggies, a large one for $12 and a small one for $8. I sold a blanket set that I make. It's a minky blanket with a swaddling cloth and a little stuffy owl. I sold one of those for $45. I sold a mini bee. I added those to my kind of pocket sets, pocket animal sets, and it's so a mini bee for $5. I sold a bee and a shark for $25 and a squid for $25, and there's a really cute story with that one. It was my giant squid. So this is, where is it? It's gonna hide from me. So this is when I make it out of the Cozy with a Twist yarn. This is how much big it turns out with just 1 strand. I sometimes make it with 2 strands and it makes it, you know, a lot bigger. So I'd had one at my market for probably a week, at least a couple weeks. It wasn't selling. And then this particular week, July 14, a boy came up with his folks and they were looking around and they were trying to find just where is that squid, and so they found it on top of one of my displays and they're like, oh, there it is. And he was just so excited. He had saved up his money so that he could come back and buy that squid. It was so exciting to see that. And just excited little boy. So then I sold a little mushroom and a mini bee for $15, another flower, and then I found these little pop-up things. There's a pop-up mushroom, a pop-up squid, and then a pop-up like flower blossom or something like that. I've only made the mushroom, just 1 mushroom so far. They're really cute. I'll be making more, so I'll show those to you sometime. For $20, a bee for $15, and then 2 squids, a mini bee, and a pocket octo for $28. Another pocket octo for $3. I made some little chunky mushroom guys. One with the brown top for $10 and with a red top for $10. Another pocket bee for $5. A squid, the smaller squid sizes, which is this size right here. So I sold one of these for $10. Then a pocket bee, an octo for $13, and then a squid, an octo, and a pocket octo for $21. Another pocket, 2 pocket octos for $3, a mushroom guy for $15, another bee for $15, another froggy for $8, and then, was that all? And I didn't add up my sales for that time, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so when I was reading all of those off, I failed to notice that I was reading them first from July 14 and then from July 21. So those were actually 2 separate weeks. So for July 14, I sold $209 and we ended after one of the chickens. We did not sell very much that week, but it was still a decent amount, $209. I think that was, at that point, that was the least that I had sold for $209. So for July 21 then, that's where we started out selling the 2 squids, the mini bee, and the pocket octo for $28. So let's see for that market. It was very, very slow that week. It was going to be hot that day, and there were actually more people there than I was expecting. I was expecting a rather slow week. It was supposed to get up to 102 that day. So that day I only sold $144 minus the 45, so just $99 for the day after taking out the fees and the gas. Maybe still worth it to go, but I knew I was kind of expecting it to be a slow week. So the next weekend, of course, July 28, there was no market. So now we are coming up to the next market. We are all caught up, and that may have been long, and I'm sorry, but hopefully you found it a little bit interesting and helpful. So I just wanted to add up all of the sales that I've made from this market since I started going on June 16. And so for that month and a half, I have sold $1,372 worth of product. So it has definitely been worth it to go to this market. We're saving up money to be able to send our second son to our parochial school that's nearby here. We have been homeschooling him, but he just will really do better in the school environment where he's around all of his friends more. So that's the main reason I'm doing, well, not the main reason. It's I love making stuff and I like to sell it, so, and it's good to have the money for our budget, but that is what the money is going to at this time. So it's exciting to have this venue to sell, and I'll be doing another update next for what I have made for the market, and then we'll do another market update later. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye.